And three, two, one. Welcome again, everyone. This is Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining today. Normally putting in the three, two, ones because for some reason the initial audio struggles a little bit. But that said, thanks so much for joining. As always, if you like this channel, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, and also ding that notification bell so that you can get all the latest updates directly to your device. And if you would like to get a personal reading with me, please be sure to reach out to me at the information provided in the description box below. That said, we're going to switch things up a bit. I like to normally do a general spread in the early part of the month. I do a love, reading at towards the end of the month. And since it's the last week of June already, good grief, time is flying like mad. We're just going to do kind of more light-hearted one, hopefully, that talks about your love language. So we just did Sagittarius because they really showed out for the last reading. I really appreciate support from that group. Scorpios, you're up now. You did a very good job with the views and likes and everything. So I'm going to give you priority. So it's like EasyJet, but with tarot. So we're going to go and get right into it. I'm going to draw a few cards, talk about different aspects of your love life and how it normally proceeds. You can get to the heart of the matter with some of these things. Now, normally you don't talk too much about astrology and all the transits and everything that are taking place. I just give a little bit of details and information. But I know that the moon is entering full moon in Capricorn. If I'm not mistaken, we just had something like that. It was a strawberry moon around the time of summer solstice, which was supposed to be quite amazing for people to see. I didn't know you had a blue moon, full moon, strawberry moon, you know, vanilla moon with sprinkles on top, all that good stuff. That's the way it seems to go in the world of astronomy and astrology. So, Scorpio, it's got the deck. Scorpio's love life. How is Scorpio in love? How is Scorpio in love? Came out a lot. Okay. All right. What do you normally attract? All right. How do your relationships start? How do they progress? How do they end? What's the advice? All right. Let's see what's going on. Bottom of the deck, I think we got some Sagittarius as well. But this is a Seven of Wands. This is basically you standing up and defending what you strongly believe in. So I would actually, advise you to take a look at the Sagittarius reading because that came up in their chart and in their spread. And I think talks a little bit about maybe some other qualities and aspects that you may have within your full chart. That said, we're going to go into the type of person that you are. This can go one of two ways because we have the King of Wands reverse and we also have the Four of Cups in the reverse. It can go one of two ways. The first way is that if you read the Four of Cups in the reverse, do the King of Wands. What this indicates is because you're not really the person that's interested in love, but you are the person that's interested in getting some, to say the least. With the Four of Cups in the reverse, that can be missed opportunities. It could also sometimes be, in the way I would look at it is kind of like a cool casual interest in something. I don't know why I'm getting that message right now, but that's what it kind of seems like. And then the King of Wands in the reverse, enough said, it's a player. And that is the type of player who will masterfully tell you and say and do anything they can to get in them britches, and then after that they up and leave. So either you are the player or you would tend to attract players which result in missed opportunities for love and romance. Or maybe you're the one that's creating this situation for other people, like a heartbreaker, basically. So the type of people that you tend to attract are Queen of Swords. They seem to be very direct, forthright, and and forthcoming rather. And they're not really the type of people that involve themselves in the drama. So when I read those two together for the types of love interests that you would attract, they tend to be air signs. There may be an intellectual affinity that you have with them. You may also have air in your chart if you are a, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and that might be the kind of energy that you are, calling into your life because you like the cool and casual respect of it. Also, the capacity for intellectualization of emotions. So it's like, say, for example, you were the player. You like people who you can play the game with. People who are not going to commit. People who are just going to be a bit cool and casual when it comes to love and dating. And then also people who are just going to be a bit more detached. Now, if this is the type of person that you attract who are players, they tend to be people who set boundaries with you. Sometimes unnecessarily, but then also they just kind of set boundaries with you and they pretend as if they're easy and approachable at first. And so that's the way I would perceive those sets of cards. We'll then move into how the relationship starts. We have the Three of Pentacles. We can often talk about the person who's willing to set up an arrangement with you, friends with benefits, and that's what gets the relationship going. Um, the relationships oftentimes move very quickly. That's Chariot. Chariot is not a very slow moving card at all. Um, Once you make the arrangement with them, you say, okay, yeah, let's work together. Yeah, I'll hit you up on Thursdays. Yeah, we can get that going. And then after that, you know, onward to the sack, basically. And what I get out of this is that perhaps you kind of like this arrangement because it gives you a little bit more control as to how you can actually relate to other people. Perhaps in the past you dealt with a long-term commitment, and for some reason that didn't work out. So now, excuse me, rather than rather than you focusing on building a long-term stable relationship, you kind of like arrangements that it's kind of more like a contractual agreement. It's like, okay, please sign here on the dotted line before you get any other booty, and then then we can get right off and get into it. These are your terms and conditions of getting some of this. Can be the way that some of you approach it. Other times it can be sometimes through friends circles, sometimes even through work. Work relationships may offer you the chance to kind of dabble in stuff. You might be the type of person who even likes to, I don't know why this is popping up. Might be the type of person that enjoys people who like fat, nice cars, or perhaps even who likes to smash in the back seat of a car. If you have done that once, twice in your life, then consider this your spread. Um, but anyways, I'm going to move straight on to the next part. How does the relationship progress? All right. Okay. So The way the relationship tends to progress is that you then move from this arrangement and then you move into a detached kind of romantic endeavor where it's like you don't want to get too close, but you do offer a little bit. Normally, the Two of Cups is when people who are on the same page get together and they exchange the cup. So in this, it's kind of like more like a formal agreement. There's no emotions being exchanged, but because we have the Three of Pentacles, typically it's the agreement to see each other or to collaborate basically on a very superficial level. That's when it plays in. More so, you're focused on the things that you want out of life. You then turn your attention to things like your work, your finance, your home life. Meanwhile, you're offering on another part of your life, you're offering this one cup. The problem with the Knight of Cups is that they can be very flighty. See how these two are looking completely away from one another. We have this Two of Cups in the reverse in the middle, which indicates a disconnect in the relationship. And we have a water and we have a we have a earth sign here as well for these two cards. So it's almost like the two of you begin to go your separate ways to focus on other things. You may be the one that goes into a new relationship or decides to flirt around, and the other person may decide to focus on their work. Or you may switch and interchange those roles, and you may actually even oscillate between the two. Sorry, I can't really see you right now. I'm busy. Or, oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm going out. I'm going to go party with my friends and all that. And you just kind of leave it in in a state where you're not really on the same page. And that's the reason why the Two of Cups is in the reverse. One of you is focused on more practical matters. The other is focused on more emotional matters. Um, you may be seeking completely different things that are diametrically opposed to one another. Finally, the way it ends. Clarify the way it ends. Clarify the way the relationship ends. Okay. So, the way I see this is a person, by the time the end of the relationship arrives, you're the type that will tell yourself they didn't matter anyway, or the other person may say that to you. After this arrangement takes place and the two of you decide to go off and do your separate, things and go your separate ways, what happens after that is you immediately avoid thinking about the things that upset you in the relationship. I don't see this as a healing card, like this Three of Swords in the reverse. Normally is when you're getting over pain and heartbreak. I see this as a person who keeps that pain and heartbreak inside, whether this is you or the player that you deal with. Because the Knight of Wands has come out here too. So you had the King of Wands in the reverse initially for your energy. Then you have the Knight of Wands in the reverse, which is the movement of that energy towards someone new. You have the Knight of Cups, so you have the Knight of Wands moving to the future, moving to the right. So in the way that I perceive that, that typically shows that the Knight of Wands says that, I'm off to someone else, I'm off to other things. Meanwhile, I'm going to ignore the pain that this interaction has kind of caused me. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to address it. I don't want to even think there's actually pain involved. Let's keep it moving. Thank you for fulfilling your end of the bargain in your contractual duties, basically. And then that's it. Or the person does this to you. And what it's showing me, not only did we get the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands out here in the reverse, but we also get the Hierophant in the reverse as your advice. Maybe, and this is just what I tell people sometimes, some people just were not meant to commit to anyone. Some people are here to expand their sexuality, explore it, and to do things in a way which would not go by conventional means. Some people were just born to smash. And there's I can say there's nothing really wrong with that per se. It's just this is the reason why you get into this Three of Pentacles energy when the relationship starts. You want to let the person clearly know, I'm not in it for the long haul. I don't want to commit, but we can explore our sexuality or we can explore certain aspects of ourselves. That then leads into this more formal arrangement. It then goes into the Two of Cups with you guys focusing on completely different aspects of your life. And then when the relationship dissolves, it's like, oh, off to better and bigger and better things. This Hierophant in the reverse indicates that kind of unconventional, we don't need to commit, but I have needs. We don't need to worry about certain things, but I like you on a smaller level than what would be required for a full blown out relationship. So that's basically what I'm getting for your reading here. Your love language is basically one. I'm gonna say like you're. I'm not gonna call you a hoe or anything like that. That's a really negative way of looking at it. But more of a sexually liberated person who then goes off and explores themselves on a cool and calm, collected manner in a way that's very formal. I'm getting that song, Marilyn Manson, the song Kaboom. He's like, we fight war with drugs and our sex always formal. Wear lawsuits when we get high, high, high. Um, that's part, our sex always formal. That's what comes into mind here. I want to keep it clean. I want to make sure that we have an agreement where we can explore things together in a cool and casual relationship. Uh, Big gushy, expressions of love may not be for you or the person that you're with. And that's the way the relationships typically play out in your life. So if you have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this is going to be for these, for you lot, basically. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to banter on too much about stuff. But thanks again. This has been Aluminum Tarot. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like what you see in this reading, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell so that you don't miss any updates from future posts. And also, if you would like a personal reading with me, one that is in tune with and resonates with your energies, please be sure to um, give me give me contact in the information provided in the description box below. That's all for today, folks, and thanks so much for joining. I hope you have a lovely time, and until next go round, love and light. Bye now.